all of you. And yesterday we are discussing what is pro R and pro S. Okay, for pro R and pro S molecules, we can use the terms as re and psi terms are used. Let's see. For pro R, pro S. For pro R and pro S means the prochiral molecules, we can use the terms as re and psi terms are used. Okay, for pro R and pro S molecules, we can use the re and psi terms are used. Okay, first we know that what is re and psi phases. Okay, let's see what is re phase and psi phase. Re and psi phases. Whenever the sp2 carbon atom, whenever the sp2 carbon atom will be converted into a chiral center, sp2 carbon is converted into a chiral center. Whenever the trigonal planar molecule of sp2 hybridized carbon is converted into a chiral center by the substitution on either side of the two phases, by the on addition of the substituents on either side of the two phases, it will to produce a re and psi phases. Let's see how they are producing. Okay, the two phases are designated as re and psi phases. Okay, let's see here example. This is the carbonyl compound, means this is the acetaldehyde. See here, this carbon is the sp2 carbon. Whenever the trigonal planar molecule sp2 carbon will converted to a chiral center by addition of substituents on either side, means there is a two possibilities are there, that is the front side attack or the back side attack. For either side, it will give the re and psi phases. Okay, re and psi phases. Let's see how the re and psi phases are we can take. Okay, for this molecule, we can give the numbering according to Kahn-Ingold priority rules. For the oxygen, it will be a first priority, and the carbonyl will get a second priority, and third one is the hydrogen. So this is a prochiral molecule. Okay, this is the prochiral center. Okay, now after giving the priorities, it will be a clockwise direction. Okay, after giving the priorities, it will be a clockwise direction. For clockwise direction, it will be a clockwise in direction. That means the priorities are in clockwise direction. The above attack, if the priorities are in the clockwise direction, then the above attack is re phase. Okay, whenever the priorities are in the clockwise direction, the above attack is re phase attack. See here, clockwise direction, the above attack or front side attack is a re phase attack. That is re phase. That is known as re phase. The below, the attacking of the, whenever the priorities are in the clockwise direction, the attacking of the nucleophile is below the phase. That means if the attacking of the nucleophile is below the phase, then that phase is known as psi phase. Okay, once again I will repeat this one. If the priorities are in the clockwise direction, if the nucleophile will be attacked in the above phase, then it will give the re phase. Okay, in the same way, if the priorities are in the clockwise direction, the attacking of the nucleophile in below phase, then it is a psi phase. In the same way, if the priorities are in anti-clockwise direction, if the priorities are in anti-clockwise direction, above phase attack is psi phase and below attack is re phase, right? Which is reverse of this one. That means if you see here, if you are giving the, okay, see, I will write the photon molecules once again. This is the carbonyl carbon, and this is the hydrogen, this is the CH3, and now we are giving the Okay, similar way, in this molecule, the according to, we can give the priorities according to Kahn-Ingold priorities rule. For this oxygen it will be a first priority, and this carbon will give second priority, and this is the third priority. Whenever after giving the priorities, you can give the, it will be a anti-clockwise direction. Whenever the priorities are in anti-clockwise direction, the attacking of the nucleophile above phase, the attacking of the nucleophile in above phase, that phase is known as side phase. Okay, if the attacking of the, whenever the priorities are in the anti-clockwise direction, the attacking of above the phase is side phase, and the attacking of nucleophile in below the phase is re phase. Okay, let's see one example for this molecule. It is a sp2 molecule, and it is a carbonyl, that is the sp2 hybridizer atom, and it will be a, first you have to giving the priorities according to Kahn-Ingold priority rules 1, 2 and 3. Okay, the priorities are in anti-clockwise direction. Whenever the priorities are anti-clockwise direction, if it will be rephase attack, that means the priorities are in anti-clockwise direction, the rephase attack is nothing but it is the below phase. That means the nucleophile will be attacking the nucleophile will be attacking the below the phase, means dotted line. See here, CH3, and the left side, this is a nucleophile, it attack on three phase. So that will be a nucleophile attack on below the phase, and it will be OH. Okay, for this molecule, if the psi phase attack, for this molecule, the nucleophile will be attack on the psi phase. That means whenever the priorities are in anti-clockwise direction, the above phase is called psi phase. So the nucleophile will be attacking on the above phase. So the nucleophile will be attacking then above the phase. That means thick line. Okay, is it clear? So what is rear and psi phases? If you are taking this molecule in this direction, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for this rephase attack. So after giving the priorities, these are in the clockwise direction. Whenever the clockwise, whenever the priorities are in clockwise direction, the rephase attack is above attack. Okay, so here the nucleophile will be attack on above the phase. Okay, this is the dotted line, and for this molecule, below the phase, that below the phase is nothing but psi phase. See, whenever the priorities are in the clockwise direction, that means whenever the priorities are in clockwise manner, the rephase attack is above the phase. So the nucleophile will be attacking on the above the phase, and the psi phase attacking this below the phase. So this is the re and psi phases of the molecule. Okay, now we shall be move on to the terminology, that is nothing but topicity of the molecules. Okay, what is topicity and what is the relation between them? Homotopic and heterotopic ligands are there. What is this? Let me see here. Topicity. First is, what is the means by topicity? Topicity. Topicity is nothing but the stereochemical relationship between the substituents and the stereochemical relationship between substituent and structure of the molecule. Okay, there is a stereochemical relationship between the substitution and structure of the molecule is known as topicity, and depending on relationship, there are two types, that is homotopic and heterotopic. And in heterotropic means there is a enantiotropic, and diastereotopic. What is the topicity? Topicity is nothing but a stereochemical relationship between the substituent and the structure of the molecule, and depending on the substitutions there can be two types, that is homotopic and heterotopic. Let's see what is homotopic. Homotopic is nothing but groups are homotopic when they are interconverted through by an axis of symmetry. That means whenever the molecule can be interconverted through an axis of symmetry, then the molecule of structure will be remain unchanged. Then these two groups are known as homotopic groups or homotopic phases. Okay, let's see what is homotopic. Homotopic, when the ligands are homotopic, if they are interconverted through rotation about an axis of symmetry. Homotopic is nothing but when the ligands are homotopic if they are interconverted through an axis of symmetry is known as and whenever the axis is passing they can be interchanged to each other and the structure of the molecules remains unchanged, then those type of groups are known as homotopic groups. Okay, let's see. For example, if you are taking a molecule will be like this. See here, the chemical environment of these two protons means these two hydrogens are same. Why? Because here attached to the carbon will be attached to the chlorine and this carbon will also attach to chlorine. So the chemical environment of these two hydrogens are similar, and if we are interconverted through an axis, let's see, whenever the axis is passing through here, the chlorine will be comes to here and the hydrogen will be moves to here, and when in the same way this chlorine moves to here and this hydrogen moves to here. By the rotation of an axis, the structure of the molecule will be remain same. Let's see here, by passing an axis, the chlorine will be moves to here and hydrogen will be this chlorine will be moves to here and hydrogen will be comes to here. In a similar way, this if you are moving like this, chlorine moves to here and hydrogen will be comes to here, or otherwise the chlorine moves to here or hydrogen will be here, it will be here, hydrogen will be here and chlorine will be here. So the molecule structure will be remain unchanged. So that's why the hydrogens are said to be a homotopic in nature. For another example, if you are taking the molecule will be like this, CH3 and CH3, and this is the HA and HB. Whenever the HA is replaced by bromine, HA is replaced by a bromine atom, so it will be molecule will be like this, here bromine and here HB and this is CH3. So after if you are substitute the if you are replace the HB as bromine, so the molecule will be in the same manner. So the structure of the molecules remains same. So there is no changes in the structure of the molecule by passing an axis of symmetry. So this is known as these two hydrogens are known as homotopic in nature, and the homotopic ligands are not generate the chiral center. Okay, whenever the homotopic ligands are present, then these ligands will not generate the chiral center by the substitution of an atom. Okay, this is the homotopic ligands. Now we are going to discussing what is the enantiotropic ligands and phases. The ligands which are enantiotropic, on the substitution it will produces enantiomers. That means whenever the ligands are said to be an enantiotropic, ligands are said to be enantiotropic when substitution of another group produces enantiomer. Okay, see, the ligands are said to be a enantiotropic whenever the two groups are there, na? One of the group is replaced by the another group, then they are produces enantiomers, then those ligands are known as enantiotropic. Let's see one example for this molecule. If we are taking the molecule will be like this. Okay, let's see carbon atom. Directly we have to take this one. This is the HA, then HB, CH3 and is a NH2. Okay, if here HA is replaced by the halogen atom, this means X. Okay, and HB. Okay, next if HB is replaced by the halogen, any halogen, that means X, NH2 and HA and X. See here, if we are taking the priorities like this, halogen 1, 2 and 3, then 1, 2, 3 in clockwise direction, the fourth priority is grouping in the vertical line, so it is an R configuration. In a similar way, if you are taking the priorities like this, 1, 2, 3 anti-clockwise direction, so S configuration, so it will produce the enantiomers. Whenever the enantiomers are produced, so these two groups, the HA and HB, are said to be enantiotropic ligands. Okay, these two are said to be enantiotropic ligands, and for the enantiotropic ligands, they will produce the chiral center. See, this is the chiral center, means there is the carbon is attached to 4 different groups. These are the enantiotropic groups. Okay, enantiotropic ligands. Let's see another example for this. In this molecule we can differentiate what are the homotopic and enantiotropic. For this molecule, okay, if we are taking 1 carbon, 2 and 3 and 4, okay, if we are seeing the structure, the second in the hydrogen which are present on the second carbon, it will be a heterotropy. The ligands which are present in the second position, these two are heterotropic. The hydrogens which are present on the third carbon, they are homotopic, and the ligands which are present on the fourth carbon, these are also heterotropic. Let's see how these are the heterotropic and these are homotropic and these are the heterotropic. Let's see, if you are taking the molecule will be like this, here HA and let us taking the labeling as HA and HB for the carbon which are the hydrogens which are present on the second position. So this group I will take C2, C3, H7. I will simply take as the C3H7. Whenever if we are replacing HB as one bromine atom, so it will produces chiral center or chiral center. So it will simply produce as the chiral center. So the hydrogens which are present on the second position, they are the heterotropic ligands. Simply we are taking in the same way the ligands which are present on the C2H5 and C2H5, here HA and Hb. If we are simply, we can Hb is replaced by the bromine C2H5 and C2H5. Here bromine, and let's say if we replace the Hp as the bromine atom, so it will not generate the chiral molecule. That means it won't generate the chiral center. So this is the achiral molecule. Whenever the achiral molecule produces, then these two protons are said to be a homotopic in nature. In the similar way, the fourth group also, which is different, if we are taking CH3 here and C3H7 in the above, and it will produce the same type. And so this the hydrogen which are present on the fourth carbon also, these are the heterotopic in nature. That means they are be anisotropic or diastereotropic. Okay, now we are discussing diastereotopic proton. Okay, diastereotopic ligands or groups. Okay, whenever the molecule should contain a diastereotropic proton, the substrate should contain chiral center. Okay, substrate should contain a chiral center. Let's see one example here. If you are taking the molecule is like this, here Ha and here Hb, bromine, and here CH3. If Hb is replaced by bromine atom, okay, if Hb is replaced by a bromine atom, so it will produces like this. Okay, here bromine and here Ha and here bromine. I simply labeling this as a Ha, and if we are this is one H and CH3. For this, if Ha is replaced by the bromine atom, for this molecule, if we are replacing Ha as the bromine atom, so by saying this molecule, it is a meso compound. Why? Because there is a presence of plane of symmetry, so it is a meso compound, and meso compound is optically inactive due to internal compensation, and this is the active form. Okay, this is an active form. We know that what is the diastereomers? Meso active pairs. Meso and active pairs are produced. So these Ha and Hb are said to be a diastereomers. Whenever syn anti, whenever the syn and anti produces, that is also diastereomers, and cis trans, these are the pairs of diastereomers, and Ez, these are the pairs of the diastereomers. Okay, erythrothriose. Okay, these are the diastereomers. Once again, what is the diastereomers? Substrate should contain a chiral center. First, the substrate should contain, this is the chiral center. Okay, for this molecule CH3, and this carbon will be attached to four different groups: bromine atom, hydrogen, and CH3, and this is the whole group, right? The carbon which contain the substrate should contain chiral center, and here I will explain here only. Okay, let's see here. This carbon should contain chiral center, and if we are replacing Hb as a bromine atom, it will produce the meso compound. If we are replacing the Ha as bromine atom, it will produce the active form. If meso and active pairs are there now, so that is known as diastereomers. These two are diastereomeric pairs. So the ligands Ha and Hb are said to be a diastereotopic relationship. Okay, thank you.